see. Okay, so we got part 16, part 17. We're going to upload, get started live streaming. Okay. I am live. I'm live. Let's do full analytics. Excellent. And pop out chat. Minimize that. We got that. Okay, here we go. We have on live stream. Live stream. Here we go. Sweet. All right, we are going to Duna, I believe. So, Duna needs to be about 45 degrees out, which it is not quite there yet. So, we can. What is this? Probodobodine. Alright, well, we can go ahead and we are going to have to bring up every scientist that we could possibly, oops. Let's see, available. He's a scientist and he's a scientist. Assigned. We got one engineer, we got two scientists, we got all these pilots and engineers. Let's go ahead and hire as many scientists. Oh man, we just spent a lot of money hiring scientists. And now we're gonna take them up in a vessel. And we are going to rendezvous and dock with our space station here. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think we have an engineer on that space station. Let's Apollo-like leave. Let's go ahead and take a look at who's on our space station. Okay, they're all on SS1. We have a pilot, an engineer, two scientists, two pilots, and an engineer. So we want to have, since we have those flyby avionics hubs, I don't think we need more than one pilot. And we need an engineer, so let's see. Repack parachutes. Perfect. Increase resource. Whatever. Alright. So we're going to keep Sandfell on there. And we're going to keep... let's keep Jeb on there. Send Valentina back home. And so is that Valentina, Piper, and Bill? Yeah. Valentina, Piper, and Bill are all going home. So, yes! Hello, Duck Swan. Alright, so let's go back to our vehicle assembly building. Let's load up this beast with scientists. Ah, there we go. Loaded up with scientists. Perfect. Now we're gonna just EVA over to between these two. We don't have to dock. We could just EVA between the two. So we don't need to have a scientist on. No, we do need to have a scientist. What are we talking about? Of course we're gonna have a scientist. So if we're gonna have a scientist, we gotta have something to control. Help control this craft. There we go. That'll work. Put some batteries in there, just so that it doesn't run out of batteries. There we go. That's good battery power. Okay, we got the monopropellant on. And then we really don't need anything. Let's see. 5750 plus 13,000, so 18,750 compared to, where's this guy? 17,000. So we'll just go like this. So this is going to be our rocket to orbit, just to get the remaining guys up there. And of course we're going to need some parachutes here, so we'll get 3 radial mount parachutes, slap them on. We've got monopropellant, we got plenty of battery power, we've got crew needs to be 3 scientists. You're a scientist, you're a scientist. I want those 2 scientists. And you know what? I don't need any more scientists. Don't need them. Because my vessel, let's see, my vessel's got those 5 and then those 2. So my vessel has plenty of scientists on board. We could fit 1 more though. Nah, no, we're just going to. Oh no, I like to load up on scientists because then my so I could attach, just keep talking to myself. I could attach onto this. Yeah, why not? This is gonna be epic. Oh, come on. Okay, so what we're going to do here is this is going to be an extra crew habitat module, which we will attach to the side. We're actually going to do to store an extra 2 scientists on my space station. That will make it a little imbalanced. So what I'm going to do here is we're also going to put 1 on the other side. We're going to send lots of people to Mars. It's going to be an epic, epic mission to Mars. Why don't you grab that son of a bitch? Okay. So this is basically going to be the stack here. And that. So this will all go up all the extra Kerbals will go in, and our vessel should be completely filled. And then I will... I will withdraw. I'll leave this thing in orbit. So this is how this is going to work. I'm going to dock this to one of those side nodes, and same with this. And we're going to have the opportunity. Ooh. I'm going to have to bring somebody back because I'm going to leave the lander there. But we're going to have 2 more crew modules on our space station to house an additional 4 Kerbals. Because we want to put 5 more scientists on there, and there's only 1 more seat. So we'll load up the scientists. Hell, we'll just bring the lander back with us when we come back. Yep. Yeah, this is how it's going down. And then this crew module will just stay in Kerbal orbit and rendezvous and dock when we come back to Kerbal. We'll rendezvous and dock. Oh, whoa. Lots of chat. Okay. Will you EVA this trip? Yes, I'm going to EVA. I'm going to EVA every single one of my Kerbals on every single one of the biomes, which reminds me that I need a lot of fuel to refuel this thing. So I'm going to have to... You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring up 2 fully loaded crew modules, just like this, with all this extra fuel on board. So we're actually going to do the MIDI lift. Okay, get all that science. We're going to get tons of science. Just make the biggest science hug to localize their masses and save space. Thought process is real. Yes, the thought process is very real. So this is going to get to orbit, and it's going to have plenty of fuel in this fuel tank. And that will be used to refuel the lander many times over. So this can refuel 720 units of fuel, and we've got to fuel this up 6 times that. What, 108 units of fuel to refuel that lander? So each one of these will probably refuel it about 6 times. And we want to do that over and over and over again, sending every single one to the surface. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make this. We're going to use Big Kahuna to put this in orbit. And switch over to a mainsail engine for this. Big Kahuna. All right. Do you need double crew pod thing you had at the top of the other rocket? Do you need the double crew pod thing you had at the top of the other rocket? Double crew pod thing. Oh, yeah, the lander can. Yeah, I'm going to use that to house Kerbals. There's already 2 scientists in that, or 2 Kerbals in that, and I'm going to use that. So, yes, there is a reason for that. So this thing will get to orbit with a lot of fuel in this tank. And I am going to have 2 of these going on. I'm going to launch 2 of these loaded with crew. Here it's going to be 3 scientists, and then the other time it's going to be 2 scientists and a pilot. And then we're going to send 1 more. So we're still not quite done building this because we want to get just an absolutely ungodly amount of science, and we have to have more. We have to have more fuel to be able to land multiple times. Never mind, you know what you're doing. Yeah, I do. I do totally know what I'm doing. Alright. So... Later does not need to be that big. Okay, this will bring back several of our scientists back home. And I think my next launch, I'm going to put a one of these crew modules in lieu of the longer stack fuel tank here, and hopefully that'll just kind of balance out. So yeah, we're sending up tons of Kerbals, so we need more Kerbals to go up to Duna. Alright, Apollo-like, save, and launch. Then we will time accelerate. Okay, that's about right. Let's set that as a target. And 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. Fixed how those are kind of wonky, but whatever. They separated fine last time. Awesome! So now, just have to... Okay. Target the relative velocity. So we're going to have to kill about 343 meters per second. So are you sending some crew and extra fuel up this trip? Yes. I'm going to do the exact same thing next twice, because I have got 2 docking nodes that I could use. Intersect. Do you need food and other supplies? No, there isn't any food in this game. Basically, you send your Kerbals up in a little crew module, and they'll have all the fuel that they need. It's kind of somewhat lacking in the realism, but there are mods like Realism Overhaul where you have more resources that you need to manage, like food and oxygen and water. Alright, I'm coming in fast, so gotta slow down. Okay. Hold on. Too far, too fast. Of course, it would probably be responsible to just ditch this stage so I can wield this gigantic stage. Oh no! Oh, the only RCS I have is at the tip there. Forgot to put RCS thrusters on this thing. Oh well, that's my fault. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Roll with the punches, you know? It's gonna be all that extra fuel though that I could use. Why not? Why not use it? Okay. This is gonna be a real bitch. Target. Okay, I need you to look. No, don't use RCS. Jesus. Okay. Okay, hold that. Oh, pitch, roll, no. Yaw, pitch, roll, no. Yaw, pitch, roll, no. Uh-oh. Yaw, pitch, roll. Yaw, pitch, and roll. Is that it? Excellent. So it's going to be in the dark here. In the dark. And this one has to... Okay. We gotta figure this out fast. I just can't. Have to ditch it. Have to ditch that stage. Otherwise there's no way I'm gonna be able to make this dock happen. I did not think I could get to orbit with just the first stage there. Ah, jeez. So difficult to see. Open shield. I'm on target, but it's very difficult to see. If I can't see the docking node, so I'm not sure if I'm targeting the docking node or whatever. Okay. Adapt and overcome. Yeah, whoa, the majestic music is just kicking in. Catching some rays? You had a plan for some lights. LOL, I did. I just never put on lights because I always like to minimize the amount of delta V and minimize the weight of my spacecraft, so I always forget the lights. Oh well. Roll with the punches. I mean, I could turn on these lights, but that's not really going to do me anything, so. Come on. Alright, what do we got here? What are these? What are these parts? Make sure that this guy is pointed at the target still. Okay. Just a minor adjustment here. The up and down torquing controls are much more effective than the side to side because it was trying to wobble axially. That's easy, but then this, that takes a lot. There's a lot higher of a moment of inertia there. Okay, come on. I want to target that individual docking node, which I think is right under where the indicator is. It is. It is targeting that docking node. And I am moving directly at it, so things are good. Things are very good right now. I bet all I have to do is slow down a tiny bit before I hit, and it'll be good. Oh Jesus! I really messed that up. That was like a mirror space station moment there. Let's try this again. Okay. And you can switch to, you can go ahead and aim at that. Oh, come on. There we go. I did not damage that solar panel. Yeah. Success. All right, do that one more time. Oh man. Okay. All right. This is insane. Okay. Now back to the Space Center. Make your little Kerbal has a flashlight he can use. Maybe your little Kerbal. Yeah, he actually does. I could have done that. I am going to relaunch that vessel. But this time, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna see if there's any crew I can hire. Any more crew? I want another scientist. I want another scientist. There's no more scientists. Ah! Okay. Well then. Oh well. Alright, this time, learning from my mistakes, we'll go like that. We're going to... Excellent. 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 All of those. Excellent. So those are all disabled for pitch, yaw, and roll. I am going to put some lights. Lights. Where are the lights? Here we go. Alright. There are some lights. Block my parachutes. There, that's a good place to put some lights. Like that. Right in front of my RCS block. Whatever. You know what? I'm gonna put the lights up here. There. Floodlights there, and then spotlights here. Three of them. Right on the windows. No, 3 of them right back here. There we go. Spotlights and floodlights. Plenty of light to light up my whole space station. And maneuver, all that. And just because we can, let's go ahead and put some more monopropellant on here. But then that'll throw off the whole balance of everything that I'm working for. So maybe not. But yeah, that's our space station. Or that's our next crew module. Let's look at the crew. So we've got 2 scientists. I've got I got engineers and you know what? That's all my crew. Okay, that's all she wrote. Fair enough. Fine. That's good. I'm happy. We don't need this thing chocked full of crew. So we're gonna save. We're gonna launch this one too. I'm not missing anything, right? I'm not missing anything? Let me read the chat. Tell me I'm not missing anything. Good. Whatever. Save. We're gonna launch. Okay. Perfect. Go ahead, throttle up, and lift off. I don't care about efficiency of my flight profile because I'm going to have tons of fuel left over, as we already knew. When you refer to the flight profile, do you mean the exposed area to drag? No, I mean the angle that my ship's coming up. See, here would be a really steep flight profile if you went straight up like this and then you turned over and you went like that. And here would be a really shallow flight profile where you always were pointed at the horizon, you know. Too shallow and you spend too much time in the lower atmosphere. Too steep and you lose a lot of delta V due to gravity losses. So it's a trigonometry thing. There's an optimal flight profile. Okay, we'll go ahead and retrograde target. let's burn so we don't collide. Oh god. Fortunately, I'm going to miss the space station entirely here. Whoops. Oh well. Flew right by it really quickly. Crazy fast. Oh, some other debris there flying by me. Kessler syndrome can be a real bitch. Oh! So, I'm actually going to just bring my orbit up a little bit so that these come together. I'm going to take a whole other orbit to intercept. There we go. And time accelerate. Come around. Woo. See all that debris. Alright. Coming up on that intercept. Gotcha. Now delta V, like fuel consumed in each altitude / velocity. Delta V is change in velocity, which is the best way to measure the performance of a spacecraft, because as you are burning fuel, you are accelerating your rocket, but your rocket is getting lighter and lighter as that fuel is consumed, so your acceleration increases. So your delta V is not directly proportional to the amount of fuel you have. It's actually proportional to the log of the ratio between your the fuel that you're consuming. So it's a complicated math equation that you can calculate. It's the Tsiolkovsky rocket equation, named after Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, a space exploration visionary in the late 19th century, early 20th century. And it's basically delta V equals the natural log of the weight, the mass of your spacecraft before a burn and then after the burn, and then multiplied by the specific impulse or the effective exhaust velocity of that spacecraft. So it's a very powerful equation, good for figuring out how much fuel you need, how far you can go, whether or not you can land on a surface of a celestial body, or you'll crash at a high velocity, that kind of thing. Okay. So we're coming up on the intersect, so let's go ahead and switch over to target relative velocity here. Where is it? Whoa! Okay, so I've matched velocities with my target. We're going to switch the target over. We're going to control from this node, control from here, because we're going to point it at that spacecraft. Oh man, this is so wonky to turn this whole spacecraft. Okay, but we're gonna do it. I could just imagine that these things are gonna be threatening to rip right off when I light up this engine to take us to Duna. So I'm targeting that right there. Perfect. Alright. Open shield. We're going to turn our lights on. We're going to target our spaceship. There we go. Right there. I'm going to use RCS to bring us in. Oh, and this is just working beautifully now that I got thrusters both up here and down here. That's beautiful. Okay, so it's like the main benchmark reference point, sort of. You're gonna make it or not threshold. Yeah, exactly. There's a certain amount of delta V that is required for each maneuver. You know, going from orbit over a moon to landing on it. Lights. What lights? The lights that I put on. See these bright lights? I turned them on. I do have lights. So yeah, in order to escape Kerbal, there's a certain amount of delta V that you've got to burn. From above low Kerbal orbit, there's a certain amount of delta V it takes to get to low Kerbal orbit. That depends on your flight profile. Optimally, the amount of delta V that it takes to get to a low orbit is exactly equal to the orbital velocity that you're trying to reach, but that would assume that you're not orbiting above the terrain and that you're not losing any rocket efficiency by burning straight up, which of course you do have to do at first. You're burning straight up, and while you're burning straight up, it's really a very inefficient way to get to orbit because you're not actually adding to your orbital energy. We've never had lights before, LOL. I did step into the vehicle assembly building and put lights on just for this purpose. Alright, and I am drifting, so how much monopropellant have I used? Fair amount, but monopropellant isn't the most valued resource here. I've performed rendezvous and docks using only a liquid fuel engine mounted axially, and some sort of device, reaction wheels to control. I could burn some liquid fuel there, though, just to bring it in a little quicker. Here we're going to find out. This is why I put lights on. See how I'm illuminating this whole spacecraft? It is dark, but I have illuminated the spacecraft. Alright. The mass added due to lights has an impact on your delta V, LOL. Yes, a very small impact on my delta V. That's what I was saying. Normally, when I play this game, I'm just trying to get the absolute most efficient vehicle that I can get. And I usually don't have to use lights when I'm docking and stuff, because I'm just, I just think, yeah, it's wasted fuel. Because the amount of fuel that I had to spend to put these lights into orbit is like 5 times the mass of those lights. Okay, maybe, yeah, about that. 5 times the mass of the lights is how much fuel and rocket stage and rocket engine that I've had to put on there. Wow, the lights that I have are crazy bright. Wow. All right. Let's slow things down. Bring it in. Bring it in. Okay. We're gonna slow things down quite a bit here. We're actually we're gonna slow things down completely. I'm gonna switch over to this guy. control from here, aim camera. Set as target. Try to wiggle our way over to point directly at the incoming spacecraft. Which is going to come in for the final approach here. Do your lights offer solar energy gain? No, I don't believe they do. I mean, I could test to see if there's any energy flow. No, there's no energy flow coming off of these solar panels. Not even that one. So no, you can't power, you can't transfer energy from one spacecraft to another by shining lights on their solar panels. That would be cool though. That would be an interesting dynamic. I keep switching to those other defunct stages. All right, coming in for the dock. Haha! Yeah, first try. Okay, I have my space station. Okay, let's we're gonna do this. All right. So now this is absolutely full. And we can shut down this engine. Shut down this engine. I've got two more engines that are on somewhere. There and there. Okay, yeah, those can be shut down. Shut down engine. Shut down engine. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. There's my spacecraft. This is going to launch to Duna. To Duna. So control from here, because there's our main engine for the trans-Duna injection, which we are going to set up that burn right now. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to only partially burn through this stage. So I think I'm going to put myself into a nice, highly elliptical orbit. I'm going to ditch that stage, and then I'm going to use the nuclear rocket motor to push me the rest of the way to Duna. That's what I'm going to do. So when you set up a burn for Duna, here's what you want to do. You want to set up an orbit that goes like this and intercepts Duna right here. So it kind of spirals out from Kerbal. It's actually on an ellipse that would take you right back to Kerbal. But anyway, so to do that, you have to leave Kerbal going this way. And when you leave going that way, it's kind of hard to gauge because you got to leave with a certain velocity. And the way it works out, Duna's real simple. You roughly go 45 degrees right there. That's just about what you want to do. And then when you drag this out, see how your trajectory shoots out like that? And it escapes. But then you drag it out a little further. Might be too much. Yeah, that's too much. Way too much. We'll set Kerbin. We're gonna turn off these comsats since we really don't need to see them. Okay, so there's my intercept, and that's basically where we want it, but it seems like we will be a bit behind it. So we're going to do a little trick here, bringing in our escape, like so. And now since our periapsis is still out in front of us, we're going to be catching up to Duna. And then when we get about here, Duna's going to be catching up to us. So by tweaking our ejection angle a little bit, like so, we can get right smack dead on to intercept Duna. And I'm totally going to be intercepting Duna just right at the... I've got an encounter, Duna encounter right there. So that is the burn that I want to do. And you can see that that burn is going to occur in 27 minutes and 13 seconds. So I'm going to line up with that node. And with a delta V of 1,098.9 meters per second, I'm going to use this whole first stage to put us into a highly elliptical orbit, like that. It's going to get most of the delta V that I need, and then I just use the nuclear motor. Now the nuclear motor is really weak. It's going to accelerate us at less than a meter per second, but it's extremely efficient. So then again, I think I have plenty of fuel to go down and up using this landing can so many times. How many Kerbals do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 Kerbals. I'm going to want to make at least 24 landings so that I can get every single one of my Kerbals onto the surface. Now, 12 of those landings are going to be onto Duna, where I've got to refuel this thing entirely. And what did I calculate? That we have 108 units of fuel each time I land on Duna. So I'm going to want to use roughly one of these full tanks just landing on Duna, and the other full tank just landing on Ike. But with Ike, it takes less delta V. Significantly less. I only have to fill it up about halfway. So let's see how much fuel I lose by dumping... Oh, stop. In. Oh, no. Ah, this is annoying. Okay. Fill up these fuel tanks. Okay. There we go. Now it's pulling off evenly from them. So if I pull out all of this, I'm still going to have enough fuel to land on Duna and Ike over and over and over. So I'm going to, yeah, spend this whole stage attempting to do this burn right here. Okay. Let's check the chat. You call it a space station, but really it won't be a station for long, will it? No, a station is something that stays in one place, right? So this thing is going to be going away. This is a major climactic point. I would say the Duna injection or an Ike landing, one of those is going to be the real climax here. It's like an ion thruster, the nuclear motor. Not quite. An ion thruster actually produces ions, which are neutralized in the exhaust. Nuclear motor heats up hydrogen gas to like thousands of degrees, and it basically gets white hot, the nuclear reactor, and hydrogen gas is flowed over that. You vent hydrogen gas over that and into your exhaust nozzle. And because you can heat up the hydrogen gas higher than you could if you were burning it with oxygen, the hydrogen gas will it'll have an exhaust velocity a half order of magnitude greater than you could get with burning it with oxygen. So that's how a nuclear motor works. It's not quite the efficiency of an ion thruster, which is typically the particles are leaving the exhaust at 10 times the velocity with an ion thruster as compared to a chemical engine, which requires 100 times the amount of energy. With the nuclear motor, it's about 2 to 3 times the exhaust velocity. So here we go. Okay. Now, I sure hope that those guys don't Okay, crossfeed is disabled there. Let's target the maneuver vector and light it up. Whoa! Whoa there. Yeah, there. Whoa, whoa, almost hit that piece of debris, but I didn't. I did not. Okay. Wow. All right. Oh, they are almost falling off. This is just too much. This won't happen with the nuclear engine, though. I can guarantee that. That has about 10 times less thrust. Or about 30 times less thrust, actually. So. Oh man, another piece of debris almost hit us. I am glad to be getting it out of low Kerbal orbit. Okay, I don't want to joltingly come out of this full burn here, so I'm gradually reducing thrust. Okay, now what I'm going to do, since I'm on this highly elliptical trajectory, is I'm going to remove my node. I'm going to set up another maneuver here that I'm going to carry out with the ion thruster. Or with the, excuse me, the nuclear engine. What the hell? Oh my god, I'm going to intercept the moon? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Cannot get a break. Okay. Fine. Fine. Have it your way. I will avoid the moon. And I will come back on a different trip out. Or I'll just orbit twice. That's what I'll do. I'm gonna orbit around the planet twice. So I want to keep the rest of the fuel in these tanks. Although I could just get rid of these tanks, couldn't I? And then I would have something to burn with. Actually, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of these tanks. So I'm going to... No, I have to keep the tanks because I gotta use the nuclear engine. So let's go ahead and decouple that. Alright, so we got that rocket stage is depleted. Okay, Mun equals extra science. I mean, no, I think all of my guys have pretty much gone to the Mun, but it'd be real difficult to, well, I guess I can check out the patched conics here. Okay, it was what, 360 meters per second roughly that I had to do. Okay. Alright. So, I've got to do patched conics. Find out when or if I'm going to hit Duna. That really should intercept Duna. I can make a mid-flight correction, so you know what? I'm gonna do... the problem is I cannot perform such a large burn very quickly with... Screw it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be awesome. Slingshot that rock. Yeah. I am going to use... The moon's actually taking... Well, it's taking some of my energy away, but at the same time, I'm going to be leaving at a better angle. It's hardly affecting me. Let's go ahead and time accelerate to make that burn. Let's do it. We're gonna do it. Let's activate the nuclear engine. Time accelerate. I'm not sure if this nuclear stage has enough capability. I mean, it should. It should have enough. But I'm starting to get worried because we ended up adding on so much to the space station. Okay. This estimated burn, 2 hours and 58 minutes. No way, it's not going to take that long. Maybe. Are you going to be doing this for another couple hours? 7 minutes and 32 seconds, so let's just keep burning. Below that, and hope that that periapsis doesn't come down too low. Although that will give us a better Oberth effect. Alright. 7 minutes. How much is this consuming? How much does this consume? Fuel flow, 1.52 units per second or so? Where is the fuel being consumed? Okay. Okay. Right, so it's consuming 1.52 units per second. How many units do we have? 1,800? A little bit more. We got more than that. We got all this fuel, which is the exact, a little bit less than the amount of fuel in each of these. And then we got, what, two more of those? 8 times. Yeah, we should have enough fuel. Just be able to do this. Oh man, this burn is so inefficient. Ooh-wee. Okay, let's let's hover over that one. I hope my action groups were set up all right. So we're going to go through this fuel tank here. All 6 of these fuel tanks. Pretty sure that's my action group. I'm going to quick save for that one. I know I don't quick save, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to mess up the action group just because Kerbal Space Program doesn't have a user interface that can show me what happens when I press 1. So that's something that they should have, but don't have. Nuclear engines just chugging away. I hope this wasn't a bad idea. A rare quick save as well. I might not even have to do that. I mean, I've got so much... This engine's so efficient. I've done half my burn. Yeah, I'm not even going to have to do that yet. You know, things are getting serious with that quick save. I'm probably not even going to have... I'm going to be done with the burn before this pair of fuel tanks is depleted. Oh, I've hit escape velocity. That's what that change of camera angle was. So I've hit escape velocity. And yeah, we are going to fly by the moon. This is taking forever. Maybe I can just give it a little bump up in time acceleration. Don't want those guys to bend off. Why is that one only bending? That looks weird. You guys are supposed to have the exact same amount of liquid fuel. Why don't you? That's unsettling. Actually going to target prograde here. Turn that off. Turn that off too. Okay. Targeting prograde. Now adding a maneuver. It's not changing, is it, my orbit here? Okay. Alright. Now it's changing. we go. I have to hold down that. Okay, come on, get the intercept. Get the Duna encounter. What is wrong with you? There we go. Duna Periaphs going down, down, down. Get that as low as possible. And then we'll kill our engine. Up, up, it was already as low as possible. Okay. We are on an escape trajectory for Duna that will take us past the moon. Or the mun, I should say. Here is our spaceship. It is totally, totally awesome. Those two fuel tanks are full, so is that. You know, one thing I could do here, possibly. Move these out of the way. So I got 6 fuel tanks there. Could that hold all the fuel? I think those could totally hold all the fuel. Yeah, that could totally hold all the fuel. So here's what I'm going to do. Transfer all the fuel into there. And transfer all the fuel. Oh shit. Okay. I gotta keep things balanced here. So, I mean, I should, this in theory should be balanced because the way I did this, but these 2 tanks are not balanced. So, that's as balanced as I can get them. Whatever. Can you use science and EVA and relay data, etc. as you pass? Does it help at all? I could, although I've gathered EVA reports from the Mun and from high over the Mun before. So I've already gathered almost all the science that there is to gather from Kerbal and the Mun and stuff. I mean, unless I wanted to go to all the biomes of the Mun and get all the science there. So there's not really a point to doing that. But I guess there's like gravioli detector that I could do. So let's see. I mean, I don't think I can do that here. Let's see, where's the other? Let's see, in camera, there we go. So there are my science experiments. I can log gravity data. Like, I'll do that right now. And process in the lab time with the 38 data. Let's just keep that. And we'll go ahead and send one of our Kerbals. Transfer crew. Send Bob. I think Bob's a scientist. Into here. Now we'll send him on EVA. and he'll get the gravioli data, take data, board in the landing can, and then review stored data. Keep experiment. Let's see. I know I can transfer data, or transfer data to another vessel. Oh, no, I can't. Okay. So I'll just keep the science in there. I think that this is a good stopping point for me. I mean, I've got I'm on a escape trajectory. I'm going to Duna. I've spent, you know, a couple hours on this live stream, so I think I'm gonna wrap things up for tonight. And you know, who knows when it'll happen. I'll try to schedule my live stream to occur a couple hours in advance. I record all of them, so if you miss it, you can go ahead and rewatch and see what's going on. In the next episode, I'm probably just going to perform a capture burn around Duna, slow down, drop into... I think it's more efficient to drop into orbit around Ike. No. And drop into orbit over, low orbit over Duna. And we'll just, that'll be the next live stream. You're on your way. That was an awesome build-up, man. It's been a trip. Yeah, there I am, flying away from Kerbal after ditching the big orange fuel tank and the powerful engine, which almost blew these Apollo-style CSMs off. And anyway, we're on our way to Duna. We're going to fly by the moon in the next episode, so let's go to the Space Center. Quit to main menu. Exit to main menu. Alright. Ending the live stream.